Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Dr. T and Max Conserva. We're hanging out at the bar today. So we're going to do squatting. And Max and I have been talking about ways to adapt squatting for the kind of impairments that he struggles with, which is a fixed ankle and an unstable knee. So Max, go ahead and share kind of the things that you learned and what you do for squatting.
Yeah.
How do you squat? You're in a pants.
It didn't always come so easily. So when I started out with CrossFit, I could hardly put a bar on my back and squat without falling over. With a fixed ankle and knee instability, both medial laterally, and as I go lower into the squat, my knee actually gets weaker. So these are obviously things that are very difficult. However, with CrossFit, with most of the movements, is sure, I could avoid doing squats, but the fact of the matter is, in the real world, I'm squatting all the time. I sit down in chairs, I get up. So I'm here at the bar to learn the most effective ways to do these things so I don't hurt myself on accident and I can do it in a controlled environment.
Or you would be just using what I see a lot with below the knee, those with below the knee amputations, which can be very similar to the impairments you have in terms of a weak knee and a locked ankle. Is you just want to focus on that one leg. Like you want to put all the weight on that one leg because it's just easier to get through a workout. Well, don't let yourself do that. You want to actually, if you could build 10% more in your right leg, would you rather do that than just get stronger on the left?
Absolutely. I realized very quickly that if I could just build up my right side just a little bit, it would take so much load off my left. It would take away that redlining my left leg all the time if I could just put 5% more, 10% more, 15%, and that's how I've approached it the entire way.
All right, well, let's see the box squat.
Yeah, so the reason I love doing the box squat, and don't get it confused with the general box squat that you actually may have done in class. I use the box for everything. So I use the box for my normal back squats, my front squats, goblet squats, thrusters. To me, it serves two purposes. Number one, it's a fail-safe, so I always know it's there, and if I have to bail, I only bail a couple inches and just land on my butt. But more importantly, with the dynamic of me getting weaker as I go down, I know that as I get to the bottom, I can have a point where I can reset and stabilize, almost as if I was sitting down, to tighten up and then head back up. And in that way, it's a very functional movement, even though it is a traditional squat.
Right. No, awesome. All right, so one of the biggest things just watching him, torsion of the hips is what all of you guys talk, knees out, thighs out, that's what he has to focus on to the umpteenth degree, right?
Yeah.
So, first squat, taking the bar off the rack. So getting some hinging, driving the butt back, building up posterior chain, loading the posterior chain equally. So what I look for as a coach is symmetry. So I'm looking for, is his spine set up? Is he getting adequate torsion? Is he shifting his weight one side to the other? So the box is actually a really good height for him, challenging wise. So as he gets lower, his knee is a little bit weaker because he doesn't have all the muscles in his leg that he does on the right versus the left. So one thing I would want to do for him, go ahead and just stay there for a second, Max, because over time, as he gets tired, he wants to shift his weight. He wants to shift kind of to that right side. It's almost getting a little bit of like torsion in his pelvis. So I, as a coach, might just come over and add a little bit of resistance to his right side. Tactile cueing. Go ahead and drop down. Good. Drive those thighs out. Good. Do one more. So the tactile cueing, we talked about it, may or may not know that he's shifting under load sometimes. So as a coach, I'd want to come over there and kind of give him some input. He could use a band to do that as well. Maybe unloaded first to start with that. But overall, I think this is an awesome tool to use for those of you that are experiencing some of the same kind of impairments that Max is dealing with. Because one, you're getting a very symmetrical squat, you're loading both hips, both knees, both ankles, the spine symmetrically, and that's very good for your nervous system and just function overall. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, go squat.
Go squat.